you don't foul and you force a contested two, that would be an ideal situation. And downhill, Oklahoma City's the most aggressive team in the league on the basketball. So if you don't drive with force, you're not going to create action. Jalen Green's the guy who scores it. And here's the zone we talked about, Craig.
And we'll see how they defend the Thunder. They get the turnover. Bad pass. Here comes Thompson again.
But they are tough, and they move their feet, and they don't like to give up an inch.
And if you don't stay in attack mode at both ends of the floor against Oklahoma City, you can get in big-time trouble.
We talked about this, Craig. Şengün's free to just attack Holmgren because the help isn't there.
Spin, the block by Thompson. Picks up the loose change. OKC really defends the rim well. Basically, only the Cavaliers defend it better. Hartenstein scores. You saw Mark Daigneault for the Thunder. There's Ime Udoka for the Rockets. Daigneault won the Coach of the Year last year. Easily could win it again this year, as is the case for Ime Udoka. There are so many. Now they swing it around to Gilgeous-Alexander. Working on Thompson. Loses him. That's not easy to do, and he did knock down the Jimmy.
We love right now Jalen's in attack mode, and it went right at Lou Dort. Was not shy.
SGA over the top of Tate, gets two quickly back the other way. And now OKC comes the other way, looking to tie with a three. Dort into the lane. Gets turned back by Tari Eason. Now to Cason Wallace. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. And that little looper is good.
Just playing one-on-one, he's playing basketball, and that help comes. He dished off. The first time he missed, second time he made Oklahoma pay.
Yeah, there he is again. He leads the league in drives and points off drives. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 10 points. That didn't take long.
Well, Shai's ability to decelerate, it's special.
Green off the pick, missed the three. Alexander.
It's just that Dort's the one putting in that work.
They have multiple candidates. That's why they're the best defense in the league. That layup too strong. Tip try by Caruso, also no good.
The Rockets have great merch, and I have a feeling the merchandise shop, the Rockets have great merch, and I have a feeling the merchandise shop, the brick and mortar and online, is going to be busy.
And then there's a foul. The Rockets were working the other way, 2-on-1. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We'll see.
But then I'm going to have to go for 40.
Just to rub it in.
Well, let's hope Jalen Green
Gilgeous-Alexander at the first quarter game clock winding down, misses, and it ricochets out of bounds. The Rockets, they have come to play tonight.
Williams got it inside.
Yep, being fronted by Williams, and then Tate just had it ripped away from him. This is as good as we've seen this group play this year.
Yeah, if you had to draw it up without Dillon Brooks. CJ Stroud can hoop too. Put him on the court, man. He's got some game, Craig.
The other night, Tank Dell was here. Here's Chet. And he makes another three.
He kind of gave himself away. He dropped it and he said, somebody come get it. And as the Thunder will get some points on the board here, Lou Dort.
Was the key, wasn't it? We had a couple calls, a couple games ago, said it was minimal contact.
And they miss, but the Rockets can't get the rebound.
Just great game from Jalen Green, man. Reading defensive coverages and the steal.
Alexander took his eyes off of it, lost it. Stolen by Green, gets harassed, dropped, and a foul's going to be called on Isaiah Hartenstein. So on and so forth, but ultimately all that stuff resets when the regular season is over. There's a steal by Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the best in the league, and he goes the length of the floor. So on and so forth, but ultimately all that stuff resets when the regular season is over. There's a steal by Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the best in the league, and he goes the length of the floor. Hartenstein comes back to rip the rebound away. He's also 7th in the league in rebounding is Isaiah Hartenstein. Out of Chet Holmgren. And he hits another three, 4 of 6 from distance.
Let him line up a jumper that went right in.
That's 24 for Şengün. Holmgren, the ball fake, the reset, the shot, and another triple. He's got 5 of them. Timeout, Houston.
It's been such an answer because Holmgren loves to roam and block shots amongst hitting three-pointers. And right when he leaves, you get the bigs from Houston. Right there on the glass.
Hartenstein gets another possession.
From Houston. They watched film and you kind of see the bumps.
Contact there, a bump by Shai.
I work on my game, and I know how important this is.
And the rebound.
Absolutely. We got to get you to remember his name first. I guess you could say he's your guy, Craig.
If I knew his name, he'd be my guy, and I feel so bad. I cannot.
No, that does not qualify. I guess the 5 smallest, man, and it's been pretty good here, the way that Ime has put out a game plan to attack Oklahoma City.
Yeah, the Rockets now going more traditional with Şengün back on the floor, but that small lineup. Now to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Rockets have done a really good job defensively on him, as tough as that is. And he's able to score. Smith working baseline and try to find a cutting Tate, but the pass was not quite on the mark. SGA in the open floor right to the rim. Smith working baseline and try to find a cutting Tate, but the pass was not quite on the mark. SGA in the open floor right to the rim, so that's a couple of buckets in a row for him. His spots here in this game, but he's been a very effective doing so. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a leading three. That's his first make from deep.
Got to give him some extra attention.
Anthony to Şengün. In on Holmgren. Spins through a double team, misses everything.
You got to be efficient because they really swarm those drives.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on Eason, blocks the shot. Ball is loose, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Jabari Smith Jr.
Yes, we're talking to some super fans, the Red Rowdies, as they get excited for the playoffs. And we check in with Joseph Blair, head coach of the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, as they're in the postseason too.
1 for 2. 7.5 to go in this one. Rockets are up 23. Oklahoma City battling back in his second half. SGA in the lane, and the midi is good.
But again, you know, he gets his confidence with Steven Adams out there. That's got to be a push-off, man.
Back to Hartenstein, who got fouled. That will count and one.
I mean, Shai just shoves Şengün out of the way. That is dangerous basketball by Houston.
And the looper, good for Hartenstein.
Get under double digits.
Again, Fred's picked his spots tonight, and he's picked them well. Short, well defended by
Houston. Could not get a good look, and that's why you need Jay. Oh my goodness, there you go. Look at him in Thompson.
And then Green taps it to Smith. The Rockets get the ball back. This is just the 4th time that Oklahoma City's been beaten by 10 or more points. It's their second biggest loss of the season.